Thank you. Good afternoon, all. Thank you for joining us. Next slide, please. What I'm showing you here is a list of my colleagues here in QAD Architectural Group. It's important to know that we all share our expertise together in some of the more challenging TAAs that come in. I'm listed at the bottom. Not sure why I put myself there, but that's for another conference. So let's go to the next slide, please. What we do. So we audit the design projects that come in for life safety, fire safety, accessibility, health, safety, and welfare. We audit conceptual designs and provide guidance for them. We only recommend approval for projects that are fully complete, signed and sealed by a licensed architect and engineered who are registered in the state where the project is occurring. Next. Why we do it? As you know, the codes are a result of serious issues that have occurred in structures through time. And here's an example very recently, 2022 in the Bronx, where there were 17 fatalities. And what happened in this case is the hold open doors failed to close, allowing the smoke and the heat to saturate the building. Next, please. This site in June 2017 had 72 fatalities in London. And if you look at the cross section of the high rise, what you can see is that unintentionally they had a void behind the front of this facade, which allowed the flames, heat, and smoke to follow up the course of the building and engulf each floor as it went. Next. How we do it, we audit using the building codes and the Port Authority TCRM. As I said before, we collaborate and we vet the audit process with those in our group. And as far as dispositions, we have conceptual, disapproved, conditionally approved, and full approval. Next. These are the standards that we use when we perform audits. Again, we follow where the site is located. So we use the New Jersey Code, the New Jersey Uniform Construction Code, Subchapter 6. We use New York City IBC. We use New York City 2014. We use New York City 1968. In New York State, the current IBC is 2020. Next. Here's a sample audit. It's just a floor plan that we wanted to impose some issues that typically arise on a review. This is a high rise, the 45th floor of a business use with 3 tenants. Next, please. So there's a given total occupant load of 128 people. 2 exits are required and they're shown. Next. Tenant number 1 has 49 people. Only 1 exit is required and it complies. Next. The elevator lobby is not compliant in this view that we showed because it is not separated from the tenants. Next, please. In this view, we're looking at the 2 exit stairs and they are not independent of one another. You can see they share a wall. And also there are requirements for the separation distance in the building code. And you can see the code section is listed there, 3006.1. Next, we're looking at the exits again. So we have two independent exits, again, not compliant. They share a wall, and they're also not remote from one another because there are rules about using the diagonal distance of the floor, the entire floor, in determining your separation distance. Next, we have a dead-end corridor criteria in the building code. And it's interesting, I just saw a poster on the subway that said a cul-de-sac is just a fancy way for saying dead end. I don't know why that popped into my head, but I take the subway every day. So in this case, you can see that this is not compliant because the distance exceeds what is permitted. Next, please. And in this case, we have uh, not independent exit access. We only have one exit access and not the two that are required. Next, please. In this case, you can see where tenant number 3 would have to exit through tenant number 2 to get to the exits, also not compliant. Next. Means of egress is a serious situation we have to review thoroughly. And it includes, travel distances, exit access, exits themselves and exit discharge, exit doors and their hardware, exit signage, stair capacities, and elevator lobbies. Next, please. Fire separation and prevention. We look into the flammability of interior finishes. We usually request a third-party lab test report. We look at fire ratings of walls, the separation of mixed occupancies, and penetrations through rated construction. We also look at storage and use of hazardous materials, flammability, quantities of flammable products, and we request hazardous material reports and the use group classification, which could lead to a high hazard classification. Next. Accessibility is a major factor. We look at federal ADA, we look at local accessibility codes. We include a standard ADA note as being required on all these documents where accessibility is required. We look at parking spaces, counter heights, we look at restrooms, and we have SAR review, which is above and beyond the building code reviews. And one thing I was thinking about for accessibility is what is often missed is the accessibility of employee workspaces. And another one could be if you're doing large restroom designs, you need ambulatory stalls in addition to the normal ADA stall. Next, please. We look at energy codes and green roofs. They're pretty much across the board the same, except New York City, where in addition, new buildings, new roofing and new roofing decks require vegetative roofing or solar panels. Next. The architecture group looks at flood zone compliance. Next, please. So based on ASCE 24 and, excuse me, and in the city we have an appendix, we look at the different flood zones and the location of the site in relation to the waterfront. Next, please. New York City in particular, as I mentioned, has Appendix G. It applies to, as you see, new construction, improvements, alterations, etc. And permits to structures that are located below the flood elevation, provided that the building has been flood-proofed to prevent water from entering. We need a design professional certification for the proposed compliance path, and means of egress must be maintained under flood conditions, and protection for electrical, plumbing, fuel tanks, etc., including EV designs for electric vehicles. Next, please. We do temporary construction and events. The time duration is shown here, 90 days for New York City, 180 days for New York State and New Jersey. We address life safety, fire safety, health, and accessibility. Trailers, where occupied by people, are considered buildings and must comply with the building code. We have a full list of that compliance criteria listed in the TCRM to help you answer your questions for that particular project. Modular buildings, they must be submitted with signed and sealed drawings by an engineer licensed in the state. And in New Jersey, modular buildings can be certified by a state inspection agency. Next, please. Keys to success. We ensure complete application documentation is submitted to QAD for audit. QAD will work closely with the design team to resolve comments quickly, and the goal has always been to achieve full approval. Conditional approvals are only granted on as-needed basis, and there's a dedicated project management and review team to assist in the best possible strategy. Next, please. This is a continuation of the concept of keys to success. We do conceptual and preliminary audits, which are very high level at 30, 60, and 90%. And what we're mostly looking for are non-compliant code showstoppers that would really have a significant impact on the design. We have a process called interim audits, which are expedited, and we work through these comments in an effective way. And with this process, we hold the dispositions to achieve an NFC, no further comments. Thank you. Next. And here are our takeaways. We want to facilitate safe facilities and successful projects. And this is achieved when QAD, the facility, and the design team work together to identify and resolve issues. Our office protects the public by ensuring compliance with life safety requirements. Our department protects the Port Authority by limiting liability for non-code compliant construction, and QAD protects the architect and engineer of record by identifying potential code deficiencies. It's a win-win. Next, please. Any questions?